Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Hard Refresh. We got Rob Poleki today joining us, the man, the myth, the legend, and the person that many people have told they think of him when they are sitting on a toilet. So we're
that
going to
true?
get into...
It's so true. Oh,
So true.
TMI,
Oh
TMI.
God.
Guys are inboxing me. Rob, I was thinking about you last time I was sitting on a public restroom in a public restroom. It's TMI.
That is very visual and
Yeah.
also flattering, I would assume. A little bit flattering. That's amazing. I'm so pumped to have you, Rob. This is a huge honor for us. I know you're a podcast veteran, so we are pumped to have this conversation and get to know you a little bit better and ask you some really hard questions, right, Caden? Are they really hard?
Very,
They're
very,
not really hard.
very hard
Difficult.
questions.
Level of difficulty is high, guys.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate you guys having me, taking the time. Let's get into some potty talk.
Yeah, let's do it. Before we do, we want to do some 2 truths and a lie with you. We'll let you take it away, and then after that, we'll hand it off to Karina for some quick event sync, and then we'll get into the meat of the episode. So,
Okay.
Great.
2 truths and a lie. Here we go.
Here we go. 2 truths and a lie. Okay. First one, toilet seat covers are absorbent. Second, I played tennis in college. Third, customers are afraid to use public restrooms.
2 truths and a lie. Okay. All right.
What's the lie? What's the
okay,
lie,
I
guys?
think-
Obviously, you know the lie. Come on.
Okay, this is what I was thinking first. I don't know that you played tennis in college. I think you probably played like rugby. Given your physique, I would say football, rugby, tennis, maybe not. But okay, maybe that's a little judgmental and stereotypical. No big deal. Okay,
That's really judgmental. Like
I know, right? But I can see the
not my
muscles.
body.
I can see the muscles. Not to say that tennis players don't have muscles, okay? And I actually am scared of public restrooms in some places, so that is the truth. Caden, I think the second one is a lie.
Well, I know it's a lie because the first one
Yes.
is on every single post on LinkedIn from Rob. If you follow him, if you don't,
Okay.
one of the best accounts on LinkedIn to go follow. He ends every post with, hey, didn't you know toilet seat covers are absorbent? It's the most gross thing to end with, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
And
it's
the more
good
you
hurt,
know.
Yeah. And it
What?
works. People are, I wish one day we'll have a national campaign about toilet seat covers, but they don't work. They've never worked ever since they've made them out of paper. So, yep,
That's
there's
really
the two lies.
disgusting.
I mean, the lie is I didn't play tennis, obviously.
I knew it.
I'm
Played rugby?
6'3", 300 pounds. There's no tennis for me.
Football?
Even pickleball, I'm too slow.
See, and you gave me a hard time. I knew tennis wasn't in your cards.
I'm kidding.
Wait
That's
a minute.
funny.
Hold on
Well-
a second. I need to go back to this seat cover thing because I am actually really curious. Why do they have them in public restrooms if they essentially don't work, is what you're saying, right?
They've been tricking
What a
us this
waste.
whole time. So back in the 60s,
Okay.
seat covers were made out of wax. They were
Yeah.
called wax seat covers, but
Okay.
they were clogging pipes.
Right.
They were
As one
clogging
can
pipes
imagine.
because they can't disintegrate like paper. And so they
Right.
started making them out of paper. And ever since they started doing that, I mean, people know when you sit on those things, your body makes them absorbent. And so anything that's on the seat seeps through. Yeah, it's a little disgusting, but I mean, wasting ton of
Hey,
paper,
we're here
wasting
for
ton
it.
of, I mean, you take out like 15 of those at a time. When you try to get one, they always rip. So yeah, they're absorbent. They don't work.
I will tell you though,
Well, that's
okay, so
gonna-
when my kids go ahead, Caden.
I was going to say, that's going to be the meat of our episode because you invented
Yes.
Washie off of this problem. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, I was just going to say really quickly. So when my kids were really little, especially Kay, because I have a little girl, I used to travel with these like seat cover things, but they were like the ones that you put all over the seat because when little kids like they hang their feet or their legs and you don't want them to touch the bowl. And now
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what was I buying? Are they all
Yeah,
paper?
especially
I
like
want to
little
feel like
kids. They're jumping on the toilet using their hands to climb up. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're
no,
touching everything.
no.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Wow. That's really gross. I feel like we need to his backstory too, though. A little bit about his journey, though, Caden, right before we jump into it, because I'd love to hear. We don't
Oh,
normally do
definitely.
this, Rob.
So I have that for one of the first questions of where Washie came from. But before you got to Washie, you were an elected official.
I was. Yeah, I was an elected official in the state of Idaho. I always say this. I went from politics to the restroom industry, crap to crap, but the restroom industry is so much
No.
nicer than
All right.
the political atmosphere.
There you go,
It's
folks.
just, yeah, it's
How timely.
I was in government for about 12 years of my life.
Wow.
Graduated from college with a social work degree. Was the social services department head, and then I just moved up and became an elected official. And then at some point in time, I was thinking, there's something else I can do. I've done as much as I can do in my career in government. And then I started getting into the old man's club where politics isn't really changing. They didn't like what I was doing because I was just changing everything. I was modernizing everything. I
Disruptor.
was like, you know what? That's probably it for me. I need to go try something else. And I wrote down this one idea in my book. One day I'll do this. And so it was a good opportunity for me to switch careers. I went on Shark Tank, was the full switch, quit the job, and now I'm selling
What an
toilet
amazing,
seats.
so cool. What an
Yeah.
amazing story. How long were you in politics, though? How many years were you in politics?
So 2 terms. So most people don't know, I was a county elected official and I
Okay.
was the county clerk. So a lot of responsibility. I ran an entire courthouse, ran every single election in the county. I was the
Wow.
comptroller, everything, jury duty, every clerk in the courthouse,
Oh my
60 plus
gosh.
employees, $70 million budget just for my budget. So it was a huge job. And that's a one in a lifetime thing. Never going back.
Wow. I bet you have some serious stories offline. I'd love to hear those stories. I'm fascinated with that stuff. Fun fact, I'd always wanted to be on jury duty. I've never gotten selected and I'm still bitter about it. I always wanted to.
Here's a tip. Here's
Never.
a tip. If you
Yeah.
don't want to be on jury duty, just start acting crazy when they interview you. Yeah, you'll never be on a jury.
No, I want to be on jury. I love everything Law and Order. I have been watching Law and Order. Of course,
Oh
that's
my
not reality, right? It's not reality, but
Just like our wives. Our wives always watching SVU, Law and Order.
That's
They want to
all
be
she
in jury.
watches.
My
yeah,
God,
I love
every
it.
wife wants to be a detective. It's
Yes,
not
it's
it's not like that
intuition.
in the real
It
world.
comes natural to us.
I'll leave on a business trip and she watches it alone and then she gets scared and I'm just
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
that's what happens to
Well,
me. I can
funny
only watch it
thing.
during the day.
Yeah, funny thing, guys, when I was in politics, I really didn't think I was going to leave, but it took me about 3 years to get my first patent for Washie. When my
Really?
first patent for Washie came in the mail, it took me 3 years. 2015, I applied for it. I got it in 2018, and on the first line, it said, "Mr. Poleki, congratulations, you are now an American inventor." I was kind of thinking, I was like, I'm an inventor now. What the heck? I didn't think I was gonna I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. And so from that point, I had spent a lot of money to get this patent going. And so I applied for the show Shark Tank, in 2018. 42,000 companies, and I made it all the way to the end.
Incredible.
Unfortunately, I was cut. They made me quit my job to appear on a network. You can't be running for elected office while on a network. So I told them, hey, I'll quit the job and I'll come on the show. And they cut me.
Wow.
It didn't even air my episode, but it was the worst but best thing that ever happened to me. Entrepreneur, as an inventor and business owner, because I probably would have given up about 50% of the company at the time. I just had
Right.
an ugly looking prototype and a patent. I didn't have a business. And so I would have probably given up a lot of the company. I still own more than 3/3 of the company now. And so 3/4 of the company. So it was very hard at the time, but it was the best thing that happened. It gave me the exposure that I needed to. I was in the papers everywhere. Imagine this headline: elected official quits his job to seek toilet seat dreams. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I hope you have
So
those
yeah,
framed
Oh,
somewhere.
so it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey inventing a toilet seat.
That is the
Yeah.
inventor. I love it.
well, I'd be curious. Let's explain the invention of the toilet seat. What does it do? I've had the privilege of using Washie at Delta Sky Club in Salt Lake City. And it makes the Delta Sky Club experience even 10 times better.
And you know what it does, guys? It really elevates restroom experiences because,
Yeah.
like I said in the beginning, customers are afraid to use a public restroom, whether it's in an airport, they don't know what to expect. So
Right.
Washie is very simple. Washie is a toilet seat that allows the user to wipe down the seat with an alcohol based cleaning solution before they sit. We're getting rid of toilet seat covers. This is new innovation. Get rid of toilet seat covers, they don't work. Basically, you grab some toilet paper, wave your hand over a sensor, sanitizing solution comes to the surface, and you wipe down the seat before you sit. It dries quickly, it has a fragrance, it smells really good, and instead of covering the seat, we're actually, sanitizing the seat down. So you have peace of mind.
I love that. Okay, Caden,
Yeah.
how did you feel about that though? You had the experience. Walk us through when you laid your tush on that seat. What did you feel?
So Karina, this is a porcelain thought.
No.
I
What?
am my porcelain thought
Full circle.
there was the confidence. I mean, in general, I was actually just at a restaurant last week, and there's this one restaurant that the food is so good that I tolerate the hole in the wall experience,
Yeah.
even of their restroom. That's very few. Like the restroom literally sets a precedence of my interpretation of the brand, the food quality, whatever it is. It's a public restroom, right? And Delta Sky Club obviously elevates the experience. Anyways, they're way better than the public restrooms in the airport versus the Sky Club. But yeah, Washie was there. There's a little sign. I knew how to use it. You just waved it, and it was just
Did you take a
the
video of
confidence.
it?
Like I did not. Rob has plenty of videos of the restroom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a video
If
of that.
somebody found my phone they opened up my photos, they would think I was a serial bathroom stalker. I would get arrested.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's
Yeah,
amazing though. The partnership with Delta Sky Club. How can I ask about that? Like how is that everywhere? Every Delta Sky Club has Washie now or what? That's
Yeah, so just a few on the West Coast. Here's what happened with Delta Sky Club. A customer emailed their corporate leadership, took a picture of a disgusting toilet seat nest. You guys know what a toilet seat nest is, right?
oh yeah.
no.
So
What's a nest?
it's when people put toilet paper and create a nest on the seat to try to cover the seat with toilet paper.
Oh, okay.
You gotta see one.
There's a
Karina,
name
you
for
gotta
these
look up
things. I'm
Google
sorry.
toilet
Okay.
seat nest.
I'm
And
doing it.
so he walked in and he saw a toilet seat nest, took a picture, emailed corporate and said, "This is not the experience that I'm looking for when I pay $500 a year to come to this club. You should try Washie." And so their corporate emailed us, knocking on the door. "Hey, what's Washie? Can we try something?" So we tried it in San Diego, Delta Sky Club, and we got rave reviews, 5-star reviews from all their customers. We put a little QR code on the back of the door so that people get to take surveys and tell us their restroom experience, and rave reviews, all 5-star reviews. And
What an
so
amazing customer. Who is this
yeah,
person? I hope they're on like brand ambassador list 101. Like this is incredible. It's like what you dream
thank him all
of.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
he messaged me on LinkedIn as well. I sent this to corporate. They need to improve their restrooms. So I thank him all the time because he got us business, and
Right.
at that point of our business, we were so young, we didn't know operations. We didn't know shit. I mean, I was going to install the toilet seats myself. And
Right.
so
No
we're
way.
we're a startup. And so customers are complaining, and if you're a brand, you're gonna please your customer. And that's the one place that you should start thinking about if you're a big brand, is that I can sell the best food, I can sell the best products in my store, but once my customer goes in the bathroom and they see something disgusting, your image and your brand starts to go downhill.
100%. The perception
Yeah.
of feeling. 100%. So you have a good perception of Delta Sky Club, Caden. You will
100%.
return to that restroom and put your tush on that seat. No problem.
Every time.
You will look for that bathroom.
Rob, you've done this on LinkedIn, like the gas station food series of
Yeah.
like talking about gas station food. Both of us being in Utah, I don't know if you've ever driven down 15 as you head towards St. George, but I think it's a Chevron or an Exxon, and that's their number one ad. Clean restrooms. And I was like, it does not have a washie in there. Maybe it does now. It's been a while. But I went there and I was like, did not live up to expectations. So I go to Maverick, 2 more exits down, because they take care of their restroom better. My wife will not go anywhere else.
Yeah. Moms, especially women who have to sit down 100% of the time, have kids that they need to take to the
Yeah.
restroom. Remember where clean restrooms are. And so
Yep.
the brand Maverick on the West Coast is a brand that, hey, there's a Maverick, we can stop and use their restroom. Why does Maverick even want clean restrooms? Because now dad's going to go fill up on the gas, mom's going to go buy $40 of snacks, and that's how they make their money. And
Yeah.
so you have cleaner restrooms, which equals more revenue because everyone's stopping. Early on, we started getting event centers with Washie, airports, but then the gas station industry hit us hard. They started knocking. Once we got one gas station, they started talking, and they were knocking on the door like, guys, we need your product. We have the biggest problem
Love that.
with bathrooms because nobody trusts our bathrooms. And so in the South, we are very popular. We started doing a lot of business in the South, 7 states in the South, and here on the West Coast as well. But the South has been very popular for Washie.
I love that.
Yeah.
This is
But what's the
amazing.
perception about labor, though? I'm curious from your perspective, how does Washi impact, if at all, right, the labor of that day porter, matron, team member? Like, what is that perception? What's the impact? What have you heard?
Yeah. So the ROI for Washi comes in a few ways. One is your brand recognition, brand improvement in restrooms. Obviously, we do QR codes. Anytime we install Washi, we do QR codes. Their customers get to take surveys. So now we have over 2,000 five-star
So smart.
reviews for a toilet seat, guys, in a restroom. And so nothing in the restroom is getting 5-star reviews. You're not getting 5-star reviews from great toilet paper or from soap or from
Right.
paper towels, and we're getting 5-star reviews. So we're blasting this everywhere. Like, we're the only product that gets 5-star reviews. And so as for brand, we're improving brand. ROI for labor and just being clean. No more toilet seat covers on the ground. Maintenance hates picking up seat covers on the ground. And when we're in hospitals, the doctors are saying, guys, we put up a sign and say, hey, wipe the seat before you go, but if you make a mess, wipe up your own stuff.
Yeah.
Like, be
Right.
clean, be
Right.
responsible. And so when they go into hospitals, they're walking into shiny toilet seats because the person is cleaning up their own stuff. And so there's different things, different ROIs that's coming from Washi, and yeah, it's just been great.
But I think you touch on a really important part of this, right? It's like the brand integrity or brand, not perception, like the brands that are willing to use Washi are the ones that are elevated, that they value a certain level of clean professionalism, like an innovative concept. And they also expect that from their patrons, I think, as well, right? Like to your point
Yeah.
about going to the restroom. If you make a mess, like clean up after yourself. Don't just leave the toilet paper on the ground. And I always joke around with the kids, like when we go to the bathroom, I always wipe down the sink because I've been a janitor all my life, right? So I like wipe it down and like make sure the toilet paper is fixed and the paper towel. And they're like, Mom, you don't have to do that. I'm like, yeah, you do. Others are going to come into this space. And it's nice to come into a clean restroom. It takes nothing for me to wipe this down. So I love that you're talking about the brands that are willing to use Washie. It shows their commitment to clean and their commitment to an elevated experience.
Yeah. Karina, look, you need some good people like you being responsible, taking care of their own mess. Here's one thing that I've noticed because I've traveled the world, I've gone to Asian countries, especially Japan. The culture there is very different. The culture there
Yeah.
is very respectful of other things, very polite, clean. You see bidets in airports everywhere because they know people are going to take care of things.
Right.
In gas stations in the South, we've had vandalism. Who wants to kick a toilet seat? Guys, the culture here in America is, hey, I'm going to go into this restroom and destroy this thing and leave. So the culture, needs to change. However, these big brands like Starbucks, Target, what they did with restrooms is really unique. When we were having the gender bathrooms go in, Starbucks went and changed all of their bathrooms to gender neutral bathrooms. And so that changed something, right? That changed something because men and women are using the same bathroom.
Right.
And so men are are disgusting. And so
Yeah.
women have to
You
use
said
a
it.
bathroom. Women have to use the bathroom after a man goes and pees everywhere. And so I know this is a little TMI, but this is my world
Yeah.
of, now Washie comes into play where women feel comfortable after using, after a guy uses the bathroom, they can go in and, clean the seat down for their kid to take care of business. So
Right.
different brands are actually spending a lot of money changing their restroom behaviors.
Love that's a mind shift. It's a change in mentality of how you perceive the restroom. There's so much that when you're walking in, I still like going to Target, going to Nordstrom's. There's a huge difference between going into a really nice restroom and going into one that has paper towels and paper
Yeah.
and toilet paper on the ground and sticks to your foot, and you're like, dang it. And then you do one of these, right? Like, don't touch anything, don't touch anything, don't touch anything. That's
Yep.
what I make Kay do all the time. I'm like, don't touch anything. Well,
Well, so Rob, being in a restroom tech space, obviously the sensor dispenses the solution. Can you talk about the vision of what's next? Culture, I mean, culture in America needs to change. I've definitely seen that firsthand. That we have no respect for the public restroom anywhere.
Unfortunately, we don't. Yeah.
So how is something as maybe as simple as technology of Washie? Have you thought of other ways that Washie can evolve the restroom experience? Being an inventor, I'm sure your mind's raced on other ideas and future things that you hope restroom technology comes up to speed with as well. Are you willing and able to share any insights or your thoughts and vision as a visionary of the restroom for where we're going?
Yeah, guys, Caden and Karina, one crappy idea at a time. I got to stick with
yeah.
Washie for now, but no, but there's a lot of things that restrooms can improve. Washie is the first smart toilet seat for public restrooms. So you connect, Washie connects to an app. It lets maintenance know if battery or cartridge levels are low, and so you get a notification if you're a maintenance guy. Hey, terminal 2, bathroom number 5, seat number 1 is low on cartridges. Washie takes a soap cartridge, you put the soap in the seat, and that's how it dispenses the alcohol-based cleaning solution. And so instead of the maintenance guy manually checking every single seat or manually checking every single dispenser, every single air freshener, they get notifications on their phone. Hey, this is low. Because the number one complaint in bathrooms is smell. Second complaint is you're out of paper. Third complaint's dirty. Those three rotate. And so we're improving that. Hey, customers want soap. Customers want paper towels. They want this thing to be, filled. And so the maintenance people get a notification so that you never run out of supplies. Kimberly Clark and Georgia Pacific had some technology that came out, and so we adapted to their technology. And so we're the first smart toilet seat. The seat also has a few sensors in it. So the sensor to dispense the cleaning solution. There's a sensor in the arm of the seat the arm of the seat is, so, there's a U-shaped
Yeah.
seat, right? So these are the arms of the seat. It's a little education there for toilet seat users, but there's a sensor in the arm. So when you sit down on the seat, Washie knows that somebody's on the seat. And so
Right.
you can determine use, you can determine, it deactivates the dispenser so it doesn't dispense on someone. And so we have all kinds of, technology in the seat on how you can count how many people have used the seat, if it's low on cartridges, batteries. And so we're kind of at that point. I think for the restroom industry, there needs to be the culture shift of taking care of restrooms. Karina, like you said, you go into a Nordstrom bathroom. You're shopping and you go into a Nordstrom bathroom, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, you see
Yeah.
the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bathroom is
Honestly,
so
like,
nice.
I've arrived.
Yeah.
You just feel so important. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, look at what they
Yes.
gave me to use the
Yeah.
bathroom. You feel like $100, but you go
Yeah.
to a gas station Chevron, you're like, oh my gosh, this is just,
Yeah.
I'm never filling up on gas here ever again.
Yes.
So those experiences, brands need to keep in mind that you can drive customers away or you can keep them coming back.
Right. It's
Yeah.
super important. How long before you're in residences, like before you offer this to the greater public? Because I'm thinking about, I'd love to have this in my bathroom. And so I have two boys that have a very hard time with putting the
Yes.
seat down and up. And I'm like, this would be ideal.
Yeah, so we're actually launching our B2C product, Washie Home, this year. Washie
No
Home
way.
dispenses on the top surface, and it
Okay.
also sprays into the bowl. So there's a mechanism where you spray into the bowl, helps clean. So before you go, you spray. It's like a poopery, it smells really nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Sprays into the sides of the bowl. So when you flush, everything goes down. Karina, close your ears. They call it charticles.
Oh, ew.
No more
Sharticles.
charticles stuck.
Did you make that up?
Everything's
Is that a real term?
no, that's a term. You gotta look that up.
My God, sharticles? Like sharding?
Charticles,
Yep.
the particles that stick to the bowl are no longer going to be stuck to the bowl.
Gosh.
And so, yeah, we developed a home seat. Ever since I've made Washie,
Yeah.
everyone has. I mean, not just 10,
Yeah.
20 people, hundreds of people. We have a list of over 500 people. I need this for my house. Can I buy this for
I
my
know.
house?
That's the very
And
first thing that
so,
I thought.
yeah,
Can I be on
we're
that list?
launching we're launching a home version. You can be on the list. I'll put you at the top. But
Please. Wait, so where
it's
are you
coming up.
selling it? On your website? Or are you selling it with like a company with Target, Walmart, Home Depot? Where do we buy it? I'm actually really interested. I really want to buy this.
Yeah, so we haven't launched yet. We're still in
Okay.
the final stages of design.
Okay.
It's my second design of a toilet seat. I thought I was going to be done with this industry in like 5 years, but looks like I'm going long term with this thing. But we will be launching the actual product by end of year.
Okay.
So
Wow.
which will go
Exciting.
direct. Yeah, we'll go direct, and then probably in 26 we'll probably go retail. Here's a great thing that happened to me early on. You guys know the product called Squatty Potty?
Yep.
No.
Karina
No.
knows. Squatty Potty
No.
is top 5 products of Shark Tank. It's
Okay.
this little stool that you put in your home.
Oh, yes, I
You
do.
raise
I
your
do
feet
know
up.
that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that product is a Utah product called Squatty Potty. And so when I got
Yeah.
cut from Shark Tank, they heard about me. They Shark Tank people talk, and they heard about me. They offered me a deal way back when, and it was a slap in the face deal. I was like, heck no, I'm not taking this deal. And so years later, the former CEO of Squatty Potty, the guy that produced the Squatty Potty commercials, I have him on our board. And so when we launched this new home seat, and all things kind of happen for a reason. I met these people early on for a reason. It's because I was going to launch this home version. And so they're going to help with the home version. And I think it's going to be a big winner.
Huge. I think it's going to be huge. Honestly,
Yeah.
very first thing that I thought of was I want this in my house for obvious reasons. And teenage boys, I feel like you should have teenage boys as part of the ad,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
they're the main users of this and making sure that they clean because boy, are they disgusting. Nothing
I mean,
gross.
heck, it's
Nothing worse.
there's plenty of husband and wife conversations. So the ad should be, "We will save your marriage."
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
writing that
That
one
is
down. I'm writing
bold.
that down. Come on. Give me some more. I'm writing that down.
Okay, question about analytics though, because you touched on something really important. And I think from like a tech perspective, you're capturing ratings, right? You're capturing ratings for these locations, these restaurants, these stalls, etc. But you also have an app. So how do you leverage the data in a way that is it from a ROI perspective? Is it for a operational improvement perspective, or all of the above? Like, how are you using that data?
Yeah. So it's really for operational improvements. So when someone opens our app, it goes, seat to app is through Bluetooth, then goes to the cloud. And so I can log into on my desktop and see every seat in America, what levels are at, what battery levels are at, cartridge levels are at. And so, if a customer is like, hey, these guys are probably out, let's just ship them, a bunch of cases of soap and so we're always being proactive. It's for operational excellence. Like, hey,
Okay.
in the bathrooms, the number one complaint is we're out of product. Okay, let's get product to them ASAP.
Right.
And so it's really for, hey, we don't want to be a headache. This is a new product. I don't want to be a burden on the company because, hey, customers complaining this thing doesn't work, this thing is dead. Well, why is it? Because we haven't given them the tools that they need to keep Washie active and alive. So yeah.
What
Can I one more question? Sorry.
Yep.
I'm like I just can't. I
You're good.
have
You're
so
good.
many. I can't. Okay. How do you deal with like the dwell time though? Because aren't you supposed to like when you spray a product, aren't you supposed to let it dwell for a minute? Like does the product have that pause time or no?
So our product is an alcohol based cleaner, and so
Okay.
it uses. We don't have a dwell time because we need it to be
No
dry
disinfectant.
when the customer sits down. So when they wipe the seat, it dries within 2 seconds, and so
Oh wow.
it does have an alcohol component to the cleaner, and so we don't have a dwell time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think disinfectants are the only ones that need dwell time, right, Caden?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for our product, we're marked as a cleaner. We don't put any claims out there that we're killing 99.99%.
Yeah. Smart.
Probably one day we will register our product, but not today. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Caden,
It's
sorry,
a
I cut you
quick
off.
interaction. It's like, it gets way better experience and way more sanitary than without or using a
Well,
toilet seat cover. So, but okay, so I'm fascinated on like the analytics. So do you enable your customers to go in and see like traffic patterns, knowing that even from the point me being in the software space, I'm like anything that's like predictive and automated. I think it's 100% true that so many complaints come from like the downtime of dispensers, paper towels are out or whatever. These pieces of technology that are going in the restroom, if major chains can come on board and literally like just, hey, I'll get the product exactly I need, and after 3 months of usage, it can anticipate this day of the week you're going to have this amount of product. These cartridges need to be changed on Tuesdays and Thursdays of the first week of the month because that's the traffic pattern. Like that level of insight and data, no longer reliant on a human being of checking. Obviously, that's very powerful, but at the same time, it's also going to get into the point of how do you digest that data with perhaps artificial intelligence for predictive analytics and but to automate the whole thing. You cut out the middleman, inventory is automated, it's automatically shipped, and it's just there ready to go.
Yeah. And so restroom traffic throughout the year comes in waves. This is,
yeah.
guys, we're talking about restroom traffic, and there's some restroom psychology that I'll get into. But restroom traffic comes in years. In the summertime, boost of traffic because everybody's out, everybody's on the road, Thanksgiving, holidays, but they're slow. So restroom traffic goes in waves. And so AI and making sure that they need product on a consistent basis is exactly why they're running out because they don't have technology that does this. You can do a subscription based inventory where you're sending them, hey, we're going to send you 40 cartridges a month. However, during the summer, the traffic is higher. So, okay, that's not going to work. So over the years with our customers, we've learned those patterns. And when a month or two before those summer months come up, we get on a call with our customers and say, hey, based on last year, this was the amount of inventory that you guys went through. And so we send them the email, we send them, this is probably how much you'll need. And so prepping them. And if they don't need that much, they have it in stock and they can use it until they're out. Those type of analytics are very important to the restroom industry because it's the number, that's the complaint of not having product. As far as restroom psychology, there's a book out there that talks about restroom behavior. And so when you walk into a restroom, stall number 1 is hardly ever used. So when you go in, stall number 1 is
Okay.
hardly ever used.
That's
Stall
the one
number
I'll be using.
3, 4, and 5, 3, 4, and 5 are mostly used. So if we set Washie in 5 stalls number 3, 4, and 5 would run out of solution faster than stalls 1 and 2. And so the restroom psychology and what we've learned on behavior in bathrooms is kind of weird, but it's kind of interesting at the same time.
So
Yeah.
interesting. I love that. The same thing happens with porters, right? Like people think that you're coming in and you're replacing the toilet paper. You're actually just moving it from one stall to another, right? No, you're not really replacing the toilet paper, or you're switching it out and like being creative. But that's so interesting. So there's a book on bathroom psychology. Did you write
There's a
said book?
I didn't write the book. There's a lot of smart people before my time, but
I
there's
love
actually
this stuff.
a little book about restroom psychology and how people interact. It talks about what sink people use. If you see rust in the middle sink or the end sink, is because those sinks have been used the most. Sink number 1 is not used. So it's different, especially men when they go to a urinal. Men don't like to stand next to each other in a urinal. Why? I mean, there's bathroom psychology there. If there's 7 urinals and a guy is there and you go stand next to him, that's really awkward. And the rest are empty, right? And so they go into that kind of stuff. And so it's a real fun read if you have some spare time. Go and read it.
Fascinating. But I think you can make a claim here about sustainability. I think you touched on this earlier in the episode, right? Like, because you have Washie, essentially you're getting rid of the seat covers that don't work. We established that. But also, a lot of times people will use toilet paper to line the seat. I'm not saying any names on top of the seat cover. So if you don't do that now, you're saving on product. And obviously there's a reduction of waste there as well, right? So I'm sure you get that a lot, that this is a huge play on sustainability.
Yeah. So early on, in like 2019, 2020, we did a ton of surveying. The number one question is for me in our first survey was, do you wipe the seat down before you go? Like, what do people do? Like, are they getting toilet paper to wipe the seat down? Are they just putting the seat cover on the toilet seat? Like, what is the behavior? What if there's something on the seat? Do you avoid it? Do you what do you do? And if that's the only stall, what do you do? Like, we had all these questions, and over 80% of people said, "Oh yeah, I wipe the seat down anyway. I grab toilet paper and just wipe the seat."
Yeah.
And actually what they're doing is they're just moving whatever's on that seat around the seat.
Oh,
They're thinking they're doing something, but they're actually just spreading it all around. And so
gross.
that's where I came up with Washie. It was like, hey, well, now we have a cleaner that, you can actually like clean the seat, like, it's fresh. And so the second question that was very popular was, did you know that, toilet seat covers were absorbent? And did you know that toilet paper is absorbent as well? So
Gross.
guys, if you put down
What if you
toilet
double
paper on
line? Doesn't matter. That's what I do. I put the seat cover and then I put the toilet paper on top, and I do like this crisscross situation. Is that the nest that we were talking about?
you
Doesn't work.
you just gotta know your body heat, depending on, like, if you're in Florida and you're hot and you go into a bathroom, your body heat is gonna go through that paper. Like, especially
Yeah.
guys will, I don't know about women, I can speak for guys. Guys
Yeah.
will stand up and that toilet seat cover is stuck on their butt because so body heat makes, here, just go get a piece of paper and go
Sit down on it.
Sit down on it. Go sit down in it for like, a few minutes and see what happens. But
Oh
anyway,
my God.
we had these questions and we're looking at behavior, what they actually do. And we found that 80% of people wipe the seat down anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely wipe the seat down. I always do that. And then I put the seat cover, and then I put the toilet paper around the seat cover, and I do like a crisscross situation. TMI.
You're gearing
right?
up.
And I know, I'm just in case, but none of that works. So I'm going to only use washy bathrooms from now on.
I was thinking about this whole invention of just, sometimes I'm so surprised how things didn't get addressed sooner, right? When society's behavior is we are all so grossed out by restrooms, and yet it's 2025 and we're finally like having someone go tack this specific most vulnerable part of the restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Rob,
I
it has
actually
been
really appreciate the candor of this conversation, though, right? Because this is like really gross stuff, but also like we should to like make it a little bit more less gross, like change the mindset of this. We all use the restroom. Like, why is it so taboo that we can't talk about wiping down a restroom, making sure you don't leave pee on the toilet seat? Like, come on, guys. 2025. Rob's leading
Let's
the
go.
charge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Well,
And I didn't do my
we are
quick
coming up with time.
control section, by the way. I didn't do the
We did it.
just zoom
We
right
just like
past. That's
dove
fine.
straight in.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
That went by quick, guys. It's already
I know.
10:50. That went by
I
quick.
love this. This is so much fun. So much psychology in the restroom. Now that I think about it, like when I walk into a restroom, I definitely am like, okay,
Stall do
looking at
you
the
use,
stalls.
Karina?
Yeah. I definitely go to the farthest
skipped
and
the
it's the
first.
biggest
Yep.
because I always go in with my daughter. And then, yeah, if I'm alone, I'll do like the second one or third one. Interesting.
Yeah.
I also always feel better when I walk into a restroom and I see like the day porter or the day attendant or the staff or someone like that's cleaning. And I'm like, just hit the jackpot. Walked in.
Guys,
It's clean.
Before we end, guys, I got to make this plug. Washie for the month of June is doing free trials for any facility.
Yes. No way.
We have so much data, so many 5 stars with our product. Now we're putting our money where our mouth is and say, look, try our product. We have we posted it. We've already had 7 trials set up. And so you get to try Washie in a men's and women's restroom for free. We take care of everything from installation to shipping to customer service to QR code serving. You try Washie out 30 days for free, and let your customers tell you if they like it or not.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's
I have a lot of
amazing.
friends in property management. I'm going to send it to them. That would be huge for them to put in these facilities and get these tenants back into the buildings with a clean toilet.
100%. Well, if you guys have enjoyed as listeners this episode today, go give Rob a follow on LinkedIn. Always stay up to date on what he's doing and what he's producing and his take on gas station food. That's an important thing to get insight on as well, beyond the toilet seat. So
a wealth of knowledge he is.
Yes. Rob, thanks for hanging today. It's been a blast, and we hope to catch you again in a year from now when Washie Home has come out. We've got to do a follow-up episode.
I'm going to put it in my house.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. We'll see you.